And here's the interesting thing about traditional media, right? So we've got print and radio and television. And with traditional media, you have to do this silly thing like understand the customer, pick the right venue. You know, you put bridesmaids information in a bridal magazine, right? You put the bridal show magazine together. And you have to have a call to action. Now, the thing with traditional media is you have to have like a budget. People have to spend money. But there are somehow these unlimited opportunities for it. And people believe that it is so very different than social media, right? So take a look at this. We added a new channel in '93. Oh, that's a bright color. We added a new channel in '93 called the web, right? And so all of a sudden, everybody acts like it's on a completely different universe. And if you've never seen this picture before, if I finish it off, you might know what it is. Look a little familiar for those of you older than 30? It's half of a television. All right. Traditional, Nancy's like, I just didn't want to admit that I was over 30. We don't believe it. You don't look a day over 29. So in the old days in television, I thought this was a pretty good example, and I'll explain to you why. You had the knob up top. This was the VHF knob. And you had the knob at the bottom, and this was the UHF, right? VHF stands for very high frequency. Isn't that what traditional advertising needs? Very high frequency. And the more we're barraged with it, the more high frequency we need it. Well, I thought it was really interesting because on the web, if we put the web down on the lower channel, it's on the ultra high frequency. And isn't that kind of what's going on? I mean, how many, you guys, somebody in here will know the answer. How many media messages do we get hit with a day? 3,000. I might have had 3,000 on the way here, but yeah, it's a lot. It's huge. Hundreds per hour sometimes, absolutely. Well, in this web channel, all of a sudden, there are all these other things. You know, we had communities, we had blogging, and then social networks, which are so new, came around in 2002. Okay? We have the decentralized web. Does anybody remember it being called the decentralized web? Also known as Web 2.0. It no longer became about a website, it became about people interacting on communities. Then there was this cool video thing called YouTube, and now we have video on the web in 2005. And now you have this whole thing that has to be fine-tuned. So if you've never used a TV like this, there's actually a knob when you're changing the channel. There's then this fine-tune knob on the outside. And so now you just click, right? And if it's staticky, you're like, something's wrong. You just bang the TV. Back in the old days, and I'm not that old, but golly Pete, you had to tune it in. Well, that's really what's going on with social media. We just have to tune it in. There's not really anything that different. I hate to tell you. I'm so sorry. I could stop right here and you can leave disappointed, but there's just nothing new to talk about from that perspective. It's more about how you tune in to connect. The title of this is Being on the Road Where Your Customers Are, right? Or meeting people where they are. And that's where it's different, right? Back in the 1700s, you came into someone's shop, you bought your stuff, you went home. Now you go to the web and you say, hey, where'd you get that necklace? We do. We do it all the time. And more and more and more.